Things are starting to heat up once again for Ryzen, but this time it's not the 8-core Ryzen shitstorm, it's Ryzen 5, the middle tier series of Ryzen CPUs. AMD has officially announced Ryzen 5 will hit the market on April 11th, opening at $249 to $169, depending on the SKU you purchase. Ryzen 5 will comprise of 4 SKUs at launch, 2 of which, the 1600 and 1600X, will feature 6 cores and 12 threads, using 3 cores per CCX to make up the 6 total. The 2 lower-end Ryzen 5 SKUs are the quad cores, the 1500X and the 1400. Like their 6-core counterparts, they will ship with SMT enabled, and furthermore, they are all unlocked chips for those who want to overclock. In a similar fashion to the 6-core Ryzen 5 CPUs, they will use 2 cores per CCX to arrive at 4. I'm pessimistic to say that I don't think performance of such a configuration will be up to snuff compared to Ryzen 7 test using a full CCX on its own. Both the quad and hexa-cores will have access to the entire 16 megabytes of L3 cache on board. However, after reporting Ryzen's quote-unquote quad-core performance last week and the general level of both positive and negative excitement, personally I'm still interested in the quad-core variants, as we the public can put it squarely against Intel's entire range of quad-core processors. Hopefully. The 1500X only tops out at 3.7 GHz in boosts allegedly, but at the $189 price point and assuming performance remains similar enough to Ryzen 7 with only a single CCX, expect the quad-core Ryzens to hit it big with the entire desktop market, especially gamers. Both quad cores are 65-watt chips and should have OC room to spare. I expect the 6-core Ryzen 5 1600X and the 1600 with a 95-watt TDP to scale possibly better than Ryzen 7 as well. It is a point of worry though that being harvested 8 cores, these chips could experience current leakage and inflated TDP because of it, though the latest tests on Ryzen 7 seem to show it's a relatively efficient chip regardless. There's still a propensity for a native quad-core die because of the number that can be made per wafer and the predicted high demand of a market-disruptive quad-core. I've said before that AMD could start off with these harvested Ryzen 7 dies for now, while ramping up production of native quad-cores, perhaps clocked even higher than these first Ryzen 5 chips, and even better poised to fight Intel's broad range of quad-core offerings. I will still maintain that AMD will make a native quad-core at some point, or introduce a harvested SKU with a single working CCX because of the likely performance benefits. The quad cores are still poised to be the mainstream CPU champions. Gamers and system builders will love these assuming performance pans out as predicted. The $169 Ryzen 1400 can start chewing off the segment occupied by the best available Core i3s and the cheapest i5s. The Ryzen 1500X hits the Core i5 market and should eat into the rest of Core i5 territory, though I would not expect Ryzen 5 quad cores to have enough performance to go toe-to-toe with i7s, even the lowest clocked versions that are available. Once we get into i7 range, it really becomes the domain of the 6-core Ryzen 5 CPUs, where they benefit from the extra 2 cores to exceed i7 performance when all 12 threads can be utilized. Of course, that's still good news and value for those needing to run practical applications on as many threads as possible, but can't afford an 8-core Ryzen chip. Arguably, the hexa-core Ryzen 5s are the best deal in the entire Ryzen lineup when considering the leaked $200.19 starting price for 6 full cores, landing at $36 a core versus $42 per core for the quad-core Ryzen 5 1400 and $55 per core for the Ryzen 7 1700. This is of course not accounting for base and boost clocks, nor for the amount of overclocking headroom either. These price points will make it difficult for consumers to decide whether or not it's worth spending another $20 to $30 to move up to another model. I'd almost say that the quad-core SKUs should be another $10 cheaper to further separate them from the 6-core Ryzens and pit them further against the i3s and cheaper i5s. And it's still also possible that we could unlock cores on these chips. It would not be the first time this has been possible on AMD CPUs. However, it must be noted that as far as I know, none of the AMD FX module-based CPUs could have any modules or cores unlocked. I think the quad-core Ryzen tests done in the past couple weeks are a semi-indication of how Ryzen 5's performance could pan out, but I will declare my disappointment to know that the quad-core itself is a deeply harvested 2+2 model with half-disabled CCXs. The only redeeming part is the full access to the 2x8 MB L3 caches. Despite knowing that, I'm still looking forward to benchmarks of the entire Ryzen 5 lineup. Unfortunately though, I won't be able to afford a Ryzen 5 launch build for next month, but I'll be sure to keep you guys posted on Ryzen related news that proves relevant. That money will be better spent on a new set of wheels for my wife, who certainly deserves a new car more than I need another computer. Anyways, thanks for watching everybody, I'll see you next time.